Hello and welcome to a mini episode of the Electronic Cafe. As you know, Mark and I have been celebrating albums that are 40 years old. We also thought what a good idea to celebrate great debut albums. So we'll be doing some of those over the coming months. In between all the big interviews we've got lined up coming forward, and got some great announcements to make soon. But we thought the one album we'd kick this all off with was 2009, To Lose My Life by the amazing White Lies. They're from Ealing, made up the core band members of Harry McVeigh, Charles Cave and Jack Lawrence Brown.
As Andy said, this was White Lies' debut album released in 2009, and what a debut it was. It was produced by Ed Buller, who used to be the keyboard player for the Psychedelic Furs and who also produced albums by Suede, Pulp, One Night Only and Slowdive.
But we wanted to celebrate this album because, you know, when we first heard it, it kind of kicks off in this widescreen Arcade Fire meets sort of Franz Ferdinand mode and just doesn't let up. I mean, you're a bit like Editors and the Killers. You know, White Lies are blatantly 80s influenced.
The sound is big and anthemic. The lyrical content is particularly stark with undertones throughout of death and mortality. The songs are indeed 80s tinged in delivery with that heavy driving bass sound and huge choruses.
Typically, you know, track for track, that bass line just patiently pounds the root note, waiting for that sort of heroic guitar chord to come in, followed by that sort of reverb-drenched, stadium-friendly synth riffs. And then you've got Harry McVeigh voice that, you know, that arrives, and there's this sort of amazing sort of handsome baritone voice vocal swelling to like a Julian Cope type blare.
Let me tell you how I discovered White Lies. I was driving back from the studio and I heard this song on the radio. And if anyone's ever been in a band, you know that 5 hours in the studio with drums and bass and guitars, the last thing you want to do is to listen to music. But this song came on the radio. Let's Grow Old Together and Die at the Same Time, and I thought, what is this song? This was a time before smartphones, so I had to switch the radio off. It was midnight and I had to drive home repeating that lyric in my head over and over again until I could get home and Google it, and it came up with White Lies.
But a desperate fear flows through my blood.
You know, track for track, this is one hell of a debut album. So we just thought we'd recognise that.
4 stellar singles were taken from the album: Unfinished Business, Death, To Lose My Life and Farewell to the Playground. The album reached #1 in the UK charts, but generally the album fared less well around the world.
For people that haven't heard it before, you really need to check it out. And obviously for those that have heard it, go revisit it. It's such an amazing album. So that's it for me, just to talk about, say, you know, we wanted to celebrate the fantastic To Lose My Life by the White Lies.
I close my